Dr. C with you, and in this video I'm going to explain the metabolism reset and help you understand why healing your liver may be the real key to getting past stuck weight loss resistance. So what is the reset? Well, this is a short-term structured program to revitalize metabolism, help energy levels come back again and support liver function. And it focuses on not so much cutting out lots of categories of things, but getting low amounts of fuel, high amounts of nutrients with real strategic timing of meals and shakes. This is helpful for those who are struggling with weight loss, fatigue, or hormone imbalances. And here's the thing, the liver is really central to your metabolic health. It's the key to detoxifying the body, and when it gets overloaded from diet not being healthy, stress, or environmental factors, what happens is these things build up more waste in the liver. More waste, more fuel, more triglycerides, and then your body's metabolism slows to compensate. If your liver can't burn the fuel, your metabolism will slow down to protect it. So when your liver is healthy, you can burn energy faster, and that means make energy and break down fat more effectively. So this is about clearing the liver and helping to regain metabolic flexibility and weight loss. So what do I mean by metabolic flexibility? When you've got a healthy, flexible metabolism, you don't always have to consume the precise amount of calories your body needs, but you'll still stay at a good set point. When metabolism is not flexible, you only have a couple of options. You can starve and lose weight and be miserable and unhealthy and have cravings, or you can eat amounts of food that aren't that unreasonable and keep on gaining. So that's the thing. There's this knife edge balance between losing and gaining. But when your metabolism is flexible, there's still always a possibility that if you eat way too little or way too much, things can change. But in the most part, over a broad range of food, your body can maintain a good set point. And that's the real difference between having a flexible metabolism and not. So how does this all work? What are the components of the metabolism reset? Well, the main point is to keep it really simple. There's been a lot of data saying that if you have any kind of a diet or a detox that's complicated, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of rules to follow. Regardless of how difficult it is, just the complexity makes it hard to stick with and makes it more likely that people won't be successful over the longer term. So the metabolism reset is made to be simple, not a lot of moving parts. Basic idea is you're getting adequate amounts of protein while limiting fuel. And by fuel, I'm talking about carbs and fats and even ketones. These are all different versions of fuel that can contribute to that overload. Now, to get adequate protein while limiting carbs and fats, it does take being specific about that. And I encourage doing protein shakes for breakfast and lunch during this reset. What happens with those is that they make it to where you're getting the targeted right amount of good key macronutrients, and you can add in very important things like resistant starch that we'll talk about and important phytonutrients. And it's simple. So you can make up even a double batch in the morning and you've got breakfast and lunch done and you're good to go. So there's not a lot of moving parts. And the idea has been called decision fatigue. The more things we have to decide upon or think about, the harder it is to remain disciplined. So the fewer things we have to worry about, the easier it is to focus on what matters. So breakfast and lunch are protein shakes, and then dinner is a solid meal. This is going to be some lean protein, some resistant starch, and lots of good veggies rich in some of the helpful phytonutrients for healing the liver. And we've got lots of guidelines on the specifics of all of this. Along with that, you've got room for unlimited snacks. These are non-starchy vegetables. They can be cooked or not, they can be savory or not, but these can be used as needed to help manage hunger while you're going through the reset process. And how does this all work? How does the reset help burn fat? Well, the thing is, you're going to get adequate protein, but a low enough amount of fuel, and that causes your body to tap into stores of fat. But you're providing resistant starch and fiber, so your gut health remains good. You're not getting so low in carbohydrate that you're compromising your bowel flora, and your blood sugar is staying stable. That's the easy pitfall. There's a lot of ways you can just not eat a lot of food and short-term see scale weight go down, but if you're getting yourself too famished and your blood sugar is too low, you won't feel well, you won't want to stay with it, and you'll have a higher chance of rebounding. So this was done in ways to where your fuel intake is lower, but you're not compromising. Your blood sugar is staying steady. Your body's going to get all the key essential amino acids, and those are needed for maintaining muscle tissue, but also for liver function. That's the difficulty about simple fasting. If you simply stop consuming food, yes, your body is forced to break down things that are stored, but your liver has no real nutrients, no real things it needs to package those wastes, sort of process them or get rid of them. So we're doing a low enough amount of fuel, but still getting adequate amounts of essential amino acids and cofactors needed for healthy detox. A big part of this is from the benefits of resistant starch. This is pretty exciting stuff. It's all the good things about carbohydrate, none of the bad things. In fact, even more good things than you could imagine. This is something that your gut bacteria forms into short-chain fatty acids. There's a range of these. Butyrate's talked about a lot. There's propionate and acetate as well. And these are things that repair the intestinal lining. They make blood sugar steady. They cut the risk of colorectal cancers. They help the body diminish insulin output. They help fat burn more effectively. And each time we ingest resistant starch, we get about a day to where our blood sugar will be more steady than it would be otherwise. And that's the thing. So often when someone has simply lowered their food intake, they don't feel well. Part of it is because their blood sugar is not stable. So this is the trick. By using resistant starch, you can have less food, but still have your blood sugar stable and still feel better and still function well during the whole reset. Some of the good sources I talk about a lot here are white beans, bananas, potatoes, other types of legumes. And this also goes a long ways towards diminishing appetite and cravings. A key part of this, as I mentioned before, is the shakes. Here's some ideas on how to make those. They're great to start the day with. So you want to get your first one within an hour of being awake. And that's a window of time in which when you consume your protein, you're going to have an easier time the whole rest of the day for less cravings and more stable blood sugar. Some of the ingredients that I encourage using are high quality protein. Now, many people who are struggling with weight also have thyroid problems. And I want to make sure that someone is not getting overloaded with iodine when they're trying to help themselves. Because of that, there's a lot of common protein powders I don't recommend because they can have hidden sources of iodine. I like pea protein as the top pick. Data has shown that it yields the same benefits that other versions of protein can in terms of body composition and muscle growth. Really good for satiety and also many beneficial phytonutrients. Along with that, it's good to have some source of resistant starch. An easy trick can be green bananas, less ripe bananas. Also, we can see options like aquafaba liquids and then pre-made resistant starch blends. And as you're making these, it's great to add in things that make them really taste good, like cinnamon or cacao or vanilla. And there's lots of good recipes I've got in Metabolism Reset to give you tips on how to make those. Now, there's pre-made shakes too. So in the Metabolism Reset diet, we did a clinical trial and we showed that the average person could lose about 2.5 inches of circumference around their belly. That was done with our pre-made shakes. So they're easy, they're ready to go, they're clinically proven, and we've worked really hard to get the taste good on those. But you can also mix and match. You can do some with those, some that are homemade, and you can do both ways. And the important part too is the use of the unlimited snacks. Now here's the thing, the first several days, first 3-4 days, it's pretty common to be hungry. Your food intake has gone down a lot. If you're doing this right, you're not training hard and you're getting plenty of extra sleep. So those things help, but you can still be going through a transition stage. And to help with that, we've got a lot of good recipes for unlimited non-starchy vegetables. It's like celery, broccoli, bell peppers. These are going to give you a lot of good micronutrients and fibers while still keeping calorie intake low. And they don't have to just be raw veggies that you munch on. That's fine too, but there's recipes that we have for things like ratatouille or carrot fries, or you can have things that are filling and good and also more savory, which is really effective. The other part of the whole program is dinner. This is the one meal that's just solid and simple food, and there's reasons why it's dinner versus lunch. There's some good data behind that, but the basic idea here too is balancing the right amounts of lean proteins, resistant starch, and more good veggies. Some simple examples, grilled chicken with steamed broccoli, sweet potatoes, or lentil and vegetable stir fry can work really well too. The idea is to focus on variety and flavor while sticking on with foods that fit with the guidelines. So how does this all work? What does the science say behind this? Well, it comes down to the connection, as I mentioned, about liver function and your metabolism. Basically, the whole reset is giving your liver a break. It doesn't have to process extra carbs and fats. That gives it a chance to regenerate. But you're still giving it the things that it needs. You're giving it the essential proteins, the key nutrients, and the essential phytonutrients. So what this does is it lets your liver break down the stored triglycerides, regain metabolic flexibility, and have sustained fat loss become automatic again and just natural for you. So who is it that benefits the most from this? All ages, but especially those over 40, and then those who've had a slow metabolism or stubborn fat or hormone imbalances. This is excellent for those with early metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. And what sort of things can be expected? Most notice just reduced bloating, better energy, more consistent blood sugar. At the end of the whole process, many will see lasting fat loss. They'll often have better digestion, better sleep, and more balanced hormones. And the reason for that is when your liver is functioning better, everything in your body can regulate more effectively. It can regulate your hormones. It can help your thyroid work better. It can help you feel better in countless ways. And the exciting part about this is, the part I love the most is when someone says, I did this, I lost weight, that's fine, but now the way that I ate before, which was reasonably healthy, now it works for me. Now I can hold on to a good body weight without having to go crazy. Before, I was trying and I was eating well, but my weight kept on going up. And now it doesn't. So that's what I mean by resetting the metabolism. Yes, you can lose pounds and inches. That's great. That's wonderful. That's super helpful. But the cool thing is you can transform yourself to where you now tolerate good foods in reasonable amounts again. And this is something that you can do to affect a certain amount of change, to reverse problems, to reverse extra weight. And it's a good regular habit on a yearly basis to maintain it and to help your body keep into a good metabolic state. All right, Dr. C with you. Take great care. We'll talk real soon.